So in the last video, we talked about how churners find a lot of bonuses and how they find the biggest bonuses possible. We also talked about the 5 details they look for before opening an account, and one of those details was the bonus requirements. Now, as I stated in the last video, bank bonus requirements usually come in the form of a direct deposit or multiple direct deposits. But not everybody has a traditional direct deposit or an employer. So this video is going to be talking about how churners meet direct deposit requirements even if they don't have a traditional direct deposit or if they don't have a job. Let's start off with method number 1, and this is just using an employer. So for the people who do have an employer, this can be a great option. This will essentially always trigger direct deposit requirements, so there's no worries involved. How churners reach bonus requirements with their employer is pretty simple. All they have to do is change the bank that their direct deposit goes to. Usually they can just change this online, and then their next paycheck will go to that bank. Now, as I said, this is oftentimes done online, and if it's possible for someone to change their direct deposit online, then this is really easy. It usually only takes a few minutes, and it can be done multiple times. And one option that people with an employer have is that they can often split their paycheck into multiple banks. So they might have half their paycheck going to one bank and half their paycheck going to another. This means that it's possible for them to reach the requirements of 2 bonuses at once, which can help them make a lot of money quickly. And for those who don't have a traditional employer, there is other paychecks that work as well. For example, I received a $450 bonus, and that required a direct deposit of any amount. And so I decided to just do DoorDash for a few hours, and that paycheck counted as a direct deposit as well. But as I said before, not everyone has an employer. So what are the options for people who don't have an employer, but who still want to get these bonuses? Well, the first option is the easiest, but it's also the least consistent. And that is to just do an ACH transfer from another bank. This can work because oftentimes banks will say that a direct deposit has to be from an employer or government agency, but in reality their software doesn't have the capacity to distinguish between an employer direct deposit and a normal ACH transfer. If an ACH transfer works, it's really easy for a churner to meet requirements by just doing this. All they have to do is go into an external bank account and use that external account to send money to the bank they're trying to get a bonus with. Now, important note, a churner should always be doing a push transaction, not a pull transaction. A push is when they go to the external account and send it from there to the bonus account. While on the other hand, a pull would be logging into the bank with the bonus and then pulling funds from another account into that bank. Doing a pull almost never works and is almost never counted as a direct deposit, but going into another bank and pushing funds into the bonus acquiring bank does sometimes work. Now let's say the churner wants to make sure their ACH transfer will go through as a direct deposit before they open the account. Well, what they can do is search Doctor of Credit, what counts as a direct deposit. And you can see this first website titled List of Methods Banks Count as Direct Deposits. Now if we scroll through, we'll see all these different bank accounts. Let's say I'm interested in opening an account with Wells Fargo. So I would click the Wells Fargo link, and that pulls up a bunch of data points from other people who have done this bonus, listing what does and doesn't count as a direct deposit. So we can see here, Bank of America seems to count as a direct deposit. Citibank seems to count as a direct deposit. And SoFi Money seems to count as a direct deposit, as well as many other bank accounts. Now, of course, this website isn't a guarantee, but it is a good place to start because it shows churners how successful other people have been with faking a direct deposit via an ACH transfer. The third option is a lot more consistent, and this option can meet bonus requirements as high as 90% of the time. This also happens to be my favorite option of triggering direct deposit requirements without an actual direct deposit. And this method is sending funds via a business account to trigger direct deposit requirements. This works because the banking system often sees business accounts the same way it sees employers. And so even if a normal ACH transfer doesn't work, oftentimes a business account transfer will. This is also an incredibly easy way for churners to meet the requirements. It's essentially the same method as an ACH transfer, just with a business account. Now, before you skip past this method, let me tell you a few things. Firstly, anyone can open a business checking account, and it doesn't require registering the business with a state, starting an LLC, or paying business registration fees. If a person has any side income like selling baked goods, babysitting, or food delivery services like DoorDash, they're eligible for a business checking account. And that's because this side income can be considered a sole proprietorship, even if they only make money a couple times a year. Now, important to note, just like with an ACH transfer, it's usually only pushes from the business account that code as a direct deposit. But because I want to give you guys the best value, let's go into how churners open a business checking account without paying fees or registering a business. Now, there's many different business accounts someone can open like Novo or Chase, but I'm going to use Bluevine as an example. So if I type in Bluevine Business Checking, I can then click on this first link which says Bluevine Business Checking, and that'll bring me to the Bluevine page. From here I can click Open Account, and that will bring me to this page. It's asking for the entity type, and because I'm just a sole proprietor doing DoorDash, I'm going to click Sole Proprietor, and then I'll type in my first and last name, email address, phone number, and I'll make a password and agree to the terms of service. After I'm done with that, it'll take me to this page where it asks me to tell them about the business. So I'll just put my home address as the address, my own phone number for the phone number. I'll put in the annual revenue, and it's asking for the industry, so I'll just click that. And let's say the closest thing is accommodation and food services. You'll also have to put a sub-industry, and then it's asking if I have a DBA and an EIN. I have neither, so I'm going to put no for both. After I clicked next, it brought me to this page where it says tell us about yourself. So I'll just put my first and last name, my date of birth, home address, and my social security number. I'll also put my phone number, and then for percentage of business, because I own the entire business, I'm going to put 100%. And with my DoorDash business, I'm the only one doing it, so there's no one else that has 25% of the business, so I'm going to click no for that. And lastly, I'll click this box saying that I have the ability to control, direct, and manage the business, and I'll click next. This last step is just asking me to verify my mobile number. So I put in my mobile phone number, and then I press verify and continue. And when I get the verification code, I'll put that into the box there. And that's essentially it. It might ask me for an email verification and to fill out a few more questions, so I would just go ahead and do that. And then if it asked me which plan I wanted, I would say the standard plan because that one has no fees. And after that, the business account is essentially set up. I would also link my external bank account to the business account so I could fund it. That's done the same way as any other bank account, so it shouldn't be too difficult. But once the business bank account is made, let's go over how a churner would pay someone using that business bank account. So I'm going to click Payees here, and then I'm going to go over to Add Payee, and I'm going to click that. And then I'm going to click the button Add Payee again, Person, and then I just fill out their information, the person's name, address, email address, etc. And if a churner wants to send themselves the money, they have to also put in the name of the bank, the routing number, and the account number for the bank they're transferring the money to, which would be the bank they're going after a bonus with. So then down at the bottom, if I click Save, it'll verify my identity, and I can click Send, and that'll just send a verification code to my phone number, which I can put in to verify my identity. After the payee is added, I can go back to the bill pay function, select the payee, and then put in the amount, any notes I want to put in. I would then pick which account it's being paid from, and then for the payment method, I would click it and put ACH, just a normal transfer. And to make it seem even more legit, oftentimes churners will put payroll in the memo line to the payee, and then they just click Save and confirm payment, and that will send the payment to the payee from the business account. Now, if for some reason a churner doesn't want to open a business checking account, there is one other option that usually works just as well, and that is to buy short-term T-bills and then have the payment be made to the account with the bonus. T-bills are sold with durations as short as 4 weeks, so what churners will do is buy these 4-week T-bills, and then when the T-bills expire, they'll get paid to the account with the bonus, usually triggering direct deposit requirements. Once again, let's go step by step over how churners get these T-bills and get the payment to be made to the bonus account. So the website is treasurydirect.gov, and the first step is to sign up for an account. Once a churner has an account, they can click on Account Info. Then if they scroll down to the bottom, they can click Bank Information, and that will allow them to link an account to treasurydirect.gov. The churner will want an account linked to pull funds out of to buy the T-bills, and they will also want the bonus account linked so that the T-bills can be directed to that account once they mature. Once the accounts are linked, the churner will click Buy Direct, and then Bills, and then press Submit. Then they select the bill they want. For example, this 4-week T-bill, which has an issue date of December 2nd, 2025. Then they will put the amount they want to purchase in $100 increments and the source of the funds. They'll make sure that schedule reimbursement is on No, and they'll put the bank with the bonus as the payment destination. And then they'll click Submit and submit again on the next page. Then their T-bills will be purchased, and 4 weeks from the issue date, they'll mature and be posted to the bank account that the churner put as the payment destination. I hope you found this video useful. Make sure to stay tuned for future videos where I'll go over how churners close bank accounts without having the bonus clawed back, the biggest mistakes that bank account churners make when they first start out, and how to use Doctor of Credit to do the whole process in one website. See you guys in the next video.